Welcome back to CyberHack. So today I want to go over some of the details before we head into the next year. Right now, we are a week away from Thanksgiving, and just like normal, every time around this year before bonuses get distributed, people start getting laid off. How do I know this? Because I know people in the industry that's in these positions that are literally being let go around this time. And this is not new. This is something that's been ongoing, but it's getting worse now. So how does that take into effect the consideration of what certifications you should get to put yourself out there so you can land these jobs? Yes, that sounds all nice and dandy, but in reality, there's still a big challenge in trying to get yourself an interview to land that job. Now, I had two people in the recent month that I know personally that has been let go. And one of them was actually working for the company for 10 years. Another person was working for 3 years, a little shy of 3 years. So it does not matter how much commitment you put or effort you put into these organizations, how much overtime that you put in, how much effort, deliverables and performance wise. It wasn't even based on any of that, right? They literally came out and said that, oh, it wasn't because of your performance. It's just that we're in a little crunch right now. We kind of have to let you go. So best of luck. And that's where the problem is. Now you have a competition full of these pool of professionals. And now one of them even has a CISSP. So what does that tell you, right? Even with the proper certifications and a proper knowledge and the experience, almost 10 years of experience. I'm thinking was it 10 years? Almost 10 years of experience. And this person was still let go. Now, granted, they were not making a hell of a whole lot of money. They weren't in the 200,000 range. They were probably within the 145, 140 range. And another one, the one that had the CISSP was in the 145 range. The other tech that was probably, I'm not sure what certification, definitely not a CISSP, but was working for this organization for over 10 years and was still let go. And that's the unfortunate side of things right now. So let's go over some of the details as to what I'm going to discuss. And here you go. All right. So in current situations, this heat map of jobs and, percentage wise, a lot of jobs are still not filled. That's fine. But as more employers are letting go people, of course, jobs are not going to be filled if they would even backfill it to begin with. All right. And this is not around the time that people are looking to hire. So if you're getting slow responses or no responses or, pushback about, oh, yeah, we're putting this position on hold, which I have seen a lot of emails on, don't be surprised. This is pretty common around this time because it's a lot of uncertainty, especially with the budgets. And especially with the new administration that's going to be taking place when it's a transition period. And a lot of people are just very, very doubtful around this time. High inflation rates, and they just don't know what's going on. So it's better to hold off than to hire a pool of people and then having to let them go again because, oh, we didn't meet our, goals, our revenue goals. All right. And that's being realistic. I'm not trying to sugarcoat this in any ways. This has nothing to do with what certifications you have. As I just mentioned, even if you have the top is of the top, the gold standard of cybersecurity certification does not mean that you're guaranteed a job. Just remember that, guys. And no matter, and I know that's a little off-putting for people who have limited or no experience and trying to get into the industry or get into this field by trying to study for like the CC exam by ISC squared or Cybersecurity Plus, and now the renamed or rebranded Security X from CompTIA, CEH. You can spend all your money on those certifications, but nothing is going to guarantee you a full-time job. And that's the reality of it right now. So let me go over some of the details. Opening requesting certifications are still looking for CISSPs. And yes, so there's tons of more people out there having and obtaining this certification. I recently, even though I did not pass, I attempted to take the CGRC exam and I failed it. I don't feel like I failed it by much, but even while I was there in the registration portion of it, going there early, other people were coming in. And as I'm sitting there listening, I'm hearing people like, oh, what exam are you here for? CISSP, CISSP, CISSP. It's like, wow. And this is a Prometric environment, a Prometric office where they administer a lot of different exams. You're talking about nurses, mechanical, and all these other exams. That it's not just cybersecurity, but there's a lot of individuals picking up on this and saying, hey, I want to keep my value. I want to make sure that I'm relevant in this space. I'm going to obtain my CISSP. After having the amount of years experience, or you log in, or you join in as an associate, which is fine. But anyway, CISSP, Security Plus, CISA, GIAC, CISM, and CIP. This one is new. Certified Information Privacy Professional. I have not paid much attention to that. And of course, you can see right here, look, I said I was studying for the CGRC. It's not even mentioned as one of the more certifications that employers are looking for. So who knows? Maybe that'll change one day. But right now, GRC is still a hot topic. A lot of people are kind of getting into that as well, because it's part of cybersecurity, but at the same time, you don't really need to know the technical aspects of cybersecurity. Mind blown, right? But anyway, let's go over some of the other details. Look, shocked, devastated, stuck. Cybersecurity pros open up about their layoffs. And this is on July 23rd, 2024. I personally know people who have been getting laid off as far as cybersecurity professionals with the CISSP. So again, this is not anything to do with performance. This has nothing to do that they did anything illegal. Organizations are in a crunch. I know of, actually, I'm going to go back just a little bit. Talking to my wife, she even knows somebody that was getting let go, but they're not in cybersecurity. It's just the whole, industry. Not the industry, but the whole job market in general, the whole, economy that's putting doubts in a lot of people and uncertainties. Again, that's why these layoffs are happening. Interest is going up. Profits of revenues are not where it's supposed to be because people are spending less, and there's people with less money. People are taking out less loans from the banks because the interest is so damn high. So everything trickles down. And that's the evolving economy, which isn't that great right now. So anyway, so that's articles like this, right? You're going to have tons of it. This is from dark reading. This is something that's not like, oh, just pulled it out from thin air. It actually has some significance. I prefer to read dark reading articles, and I enjoy them. So it goes into the details of that. And of course, this is a chart. This is a great website, layoffs.fyi. It tells you exactly employees being let go, companies with layoffs, and then it goes into the details of this. All this charting has been happening since the beginning of COVID. Someone was actually tracking. Now you can see back in 2020, things were kind of normal until, the whole lockdown happened, and then these layoffs happened. And then it became stagnant, right? People were being like, oh, there's no way we can let go people now at this point. Economy is still functioning. And then we're still profitable. And then all of a sudden, the government started printing out like crazy amount of money and started pushing it out. And the inflation happened, right? The inflation happened. And I'll say it around this time because then companies are feeling it. Interest rates are starting to prop up. And layoffs started happening. You can see the intensity of these layoffs because during the non-layoffs, it's when companies, organizations were overhiring, compensating for their revenue. Right? And because a lot of companies, certain companies at that time were really profitable. I would say probably one of the biggest ones was Peloton because everyone was locked in at home and they wanted to do workout, and the best way was doing it personally at home and subscribing to Peloton and buying these, exercise bicycles. So, yeah, so, it's a big trend. 2023 was probably the worst time for all these layoffs, right? And then as they already laid off so many people, the progression is lowering now. So we're in fourth quarter of 2024. So if you go down further, you can see that, which companies, as far as big companies, and this is not even taking consideration the small companies that let go like one or two guys from their team, which I have seen, which I know personally as well. So yeah, there's a lot of big organization, and they look at these numbers. These are not small numbers. Now, remember, these are not even cybersecurity related. They may have an overlap with some of them. They're technical staff layoffs. They're not HR. They're not, accounting. They're not finance or whatever it is. These are specific to tech layoffs. Now, remember, as these people are coming out of not having a job anymore, and they're seeing that cybersecurity is hot, they may transition into that. So that goes into my next article. Well, this is more of a salary. My next article I wanted to focus on was this one. So back in August of 2024, Cisco laid off 4,000 people. So let's just go by this. Let me see if Cisco's even listed here. So Cisco laid off in the Bay Area 5,600. And this was the course of, I'm not sure how this chart in particular is, because in one chart they have 5,600, and then maybe it's the progression of each year, because this was in 2024, but this is also in 2024. So I'm going to take an average of 5,000, but this article here says 4,000. All right, I'll grant them that. So they laid off 4,000 jobs. I'm not sure which departments and what these people, 4,000 people is a lot of people. I don't know what these 4,000 people were actually doing, but now they're focusing heavily on AI and cybersecurity. So what does that mean? They're not only are they hiring people outside, not promoting the ones that are currently in Cisco. They lay those off already, because those weren't professionals in AI or cybersecurity. So they're hiring people back, but I don't think they're hiring one for one. So even though they let go of 4,000 people, I do not believe that they're hiring 4,000 people back for AI and cybersecurity. So of course we can go into the details of this, but that just sets a mindset, right? Like, okay, now you're buying all this, new technology. You got these SIMs in place, like right here they mentioned Splunk, and they have AI. So, and then you need to protect that AI. We need people with cybersecurity. Now, cybersecurity goes into many, many different realms and avenues of things to do, right? You got your SOC analyst, you got your threat hunting, you got your incident response team, you got your, policy and governance team. You have all those individuals, right? And then you have your middle management tier. You have your senior engineers. Then you have your low-level techs or low-level system security engineers. That could be like a SOC analyst 1, and then you got tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And you got your incident response team, you got tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and so on and so forth, right? So those are a lot of people that you need to build out this particular team. Never think of cybersecurity as just one person, right? Okay, so you do vulnerability scan. Is that same as pen testing? No, it's two different groups and two different people, or two different mindsets at least, right? And then you have to have someone to assess all that. You need to have like a cybersecurity auditor that understands those terminologies, which compliance team and the auditors have to evaluate that as well. So they're on a different realm and different department to understand all that. So you do need a lot of people if you want a functioning, happening, prosperous cybersecurity relevance in your organization. So, where am I getting at with this? Right? So you got this great tech reset. You got people being laid off, and that's what's happening right now. So a lot of people are jumping back onto, okay, if I was a developer, I was a programmer, I was a web designer, forget the web designing part, okay? Because I think that's like a dying art right now. And they're trying to get into cybersecurity. So there you go again. Now you have all these individuals trying to get into cybersecurity because it's the hottest thing right now. They're taking all these certifications, and you're sitting there with these certifications already, and you're applying to all these jobs, and you're not getting any bite. You're not getting any traction because there's hundreds, if not thousands, of people applying to the same jobs. If you ever go on LinkedIn and you look at these jobs, and I'll show you guys right here really quick, If you look at these jobs, you can see over 100 applicants for each one of these. You got 2 days ago, you got 33 applicants, and I'm sure this number will keep on increasing. Now, remember, there's also a lot of these positions are mid to senior level. So even if you were a junior or have no experience, it's going to be really difficult to get into getting interview and getting on these positions. Now you can go to state of New York, where I'm from, and you look at the government sites because not all of them are listed on LinkedIn. You can come here, but I know for a fact the city itself, as far as these positions, all of these are frozen right now. They may not tell you that, they may not show you that, but all these positions that you see in front of you right now, yeah, it sounds nice, it looks nice, salaries are attractive, but there's a freeze, and throughout the entire city, there's a freeze. And I know because I talk to people, I still know people in the government agencies, and they're just not hiring right now. That's the downside. But that's not to stop you from going and making sure that you have your proper certification, talk to talk, communications, and finalizing your resume, because I feel like this is just a road bump right now, because that time is going to change. It's going to flip over one day where organizations are going to be desperate for talent, right? So just make sure that in your back of the mind, it's still going to be there, but it's going to take some time. And that's where we are right now. I'm telling you from my personal experience, I'm still looking at positions. I see positions. I actually recommended people to, into roles, or, trying to, as a recommendation, I promoted someone, externally, to say, hey, to people in my organization, saying, hey, I'm vouching for this person, give them a chance for at least an interview, but that does not guarantee a hire. All right. So I just want to put that out there, because, some people feel like, oh, maybe if I know someone, I can get in. I know CISOs in organizations, but there's no guarantee that they would get me in. It has to go through the whole chain of commands. It has to go through the team that you're working with. It has to go through, do you qualify for the work that they're asking for? And most times, because of, those will probably, I would say, for more mid to senior level positions. Junior level positions, it's really hard. And I'm not going to lie, it's hard. Any person that starts off with any kind of, in the beginning, it's going to be difficult, whether it's martial arts, whether you're a welder, whether you're an accountant, any low tier level, with minimal experience, it's going to be tough to always get in that first door. But once you get in that first door, all those opportunities come to you, because now you have experience. And I know people who do have these experiences sending me their resume. I'm looking at it and be like, yo, you are a great fit. And we just have to revise this resume to kind of market yourself a little bit more attractive, in a way where I'm looking at this resume and it looks like, something I found on the floor, at McDonald's or something. Like, what is this, right? We're trying to make sure that we keep it more pristine, make it more direct. Like you're walking into the Four Seasons and pulling up a menu and like, wow, look at these prices, right? And I want that to reflect on your salary as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I will be putting out more stuff like this. So I want to be able to capture the reality of what the job market looks like. Not just about what certification is going to get you here and there. That is a portion of it, but there's a lot more to it, right? So I want to probably put out a series of videos on what you can enhance yourself, not just by sitting at a desk and reading a book and then taking an exam. You have to have an open mind on being more practical and understanding the technology and think outside the box, right? So I'll keep you guys posted on that. So please remember to hit that like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again really soon. Take care.